Hi gamers, Simply Fun Gaming here, and we've got another update to Shadows of Forbidden Gods to cover. We're now on alpha version 0.5. So let's take a look at the main changes. The first one's going to be quite clear immediately. We'll click on New Game here. And we have, finally, new art for She Who Will Feast. So the developer, Bobby Two Hands, his art is now, I don't know where it is, I suspect it's somewhere on his computer, but either way, it's not in the game, and it's not one of us on our selection screen anymore, which is nice to see. I think we can all agree that this new art for She Who Will Feast, I'll see if I can bring up actually a picture of the old art while I'm while I'm doing this to compare. But this new art is just fantastic, fits in much better. It keeps very much the same style of the old artwork. It's still a massive snake type creature with this horrible tongue and these strange tendrils eating the Earth, a planet that looks very familiar. But this, I mean, these eyes I love. The multiple horrible eyes here, the too many and strange teeth that we've got here going on look great. I think the fact that it's just so vast, it's almost incomparable there, the size of this snake. It makes this Earth planet look absolutely tiny and insignificant in comparison. And then if we look at the other gods real quick, he has to have seen him before, we've seen Minerva before, but this fits in much better. We've got Ophanim not released yet and Mammon, but this fits in much better, I think, this artwork with this and this. It's obviously by the same artist, Megan Wong, we can see here. So yeah, I really do like this change, great piece of artwork. And then let's get on to the next one. The first thing that I want to cover, apart from the new artwork for She Who Will Feast that we can see there in the top left, is a new minor race that's been added to the game. So there is one minor race already in the game, we've played with them, we've seen them, they're orcs, but there's a new one that's been added, and I'm at this particular location to show you that race. If I just click on modifiers here, you'll see it here, Deep One Cult. So Deep Ones have been added to the game, very Lovecraftian, very fitting for a game like this. And they function in quite an interesting way. So let me just, if I show you, we'll have a quick look here at what we can, let's hover over this Deep One Cult. So first thing you can see there, Deep One Cult has got menace and profile. So these cults can be destroyed, if we like, by heroes. They can go into a location and kill them and destroy them. And as you can see there, the menace and profile will grow over time, as does the strength of this particular modifier. And when it gets to 300%, the settlement will turn into what's called a Deep One Sanctum. Now, Deep One Sanctums can actually draw population, and I believe they can also draw characters, so heroes and rulers, away from whatever it is they're doing, and towards the deep. And what they will do is they will go to what's called abyssal cities. When we get abyssal cities and when you start populating those, they actually add towards your conquest victory. And it's an interesting thing, it's not on the conquest victory to begin with when you start the game, because we can see it's not there now, but when we unlock that, I believe it adds to this panel. So we can see there it will jump into the conquest victory, and you'll see how much further along you are, and you can actually win the game just by having so many abyssal cities, that is Deep One cities, that the heroes can no longer fight back. So there's also a number of other things we could do with Deep One. So I'm just going to, let's click onto our supplicant here. So we've got a couple of challenges we could do. We can conceal the Deep Ones, that's to reduce their profile, as you can see there, by 25, that uses your intrigue. We can try and give them a human appearance, that uses our law, and that reduces their menace by 25. And because this particular location has over half shadow and the call of the deep is, let's have a look where it is to be, over 100%, the modifier there is over 100%, it means we can do this call of the deep. So that this curses the ruler of this place and their family to the call of the abyss. They'll be forced to routinely perform an action or a challenge if they're a hero to maintain their humanity, or the call will overwhelm them, and they will return to the sea to become a non-commandable Deep One agent who will attempt to spread Deep One cult. So what will happen is, if a hero or ruler is possessed by this curse, and they go into the sea, they literally become uncontrollable. We can't, you know, as it says there, we can't control them, not a controllable agent, but they will actually do things to benefit the cult, to spread the cult, and to draw people into the cult. If you've got that Sanctum set up in the location, so they will actually benefit you, and they will start to help win you the game, and obviously heroes can presumably target them as normal. So we're going to do this now. This will take 13 turns. Let's do this real quick. Okay, we've already got that doing, so we'll do that, and we'll see how we get on, and we'll see how this ruler here, Queen Port Strugo, changes when she has the that curse on her. We'll come back into the game once I've got that curse. Okay guys, so the unfortunately the queen that we were originally doing Call of the Deep on actually died of old age, so we've had to do it on this other queen here, Queen Katorf Rigsvilla, who was the heir who was taken over. We had to wait a bit for her to get some shadow before we could do it. She's only at 36% shadow when she took over, so we had to wait a bit to get her some shadow, but either way she's got it now, and as you can see she's got the Call of the Deep. This is an event that's popped up as I've completed that challenge. So the House of Rigsvilla, we'll have a look at that in a second, has been afflicted with the Call of the Abyss. Their dreams are of drowning, stepping into the ocean at night and simply walking into the black. They awake screaming and gasping for air. Their flesh feels cold to the touch and hard, as if there were a layer growing beneath. Worse is that the dreams slowly become less terrifying. Slowly the sensation of drowning is being replaced by the feeling of walking home. I like this, very Lovecraftian. They must force themselves to maintain their humanity, but will slowly lose the battle. Their sanity and lack of shadow will help protect them, if they can remain sane and not unshadowed. Well, unlucky for this queen, but there we are. So let's just say the bloodline is condemned. So it gives you a summary here. The rulers in the hero's house will have access to 2 actions: challenges to maintain their humanity or descend. The call will constantly gain strength, so their desire to descend will increase. They can either maintain their humanity and it resets to 0, but if their sanity drops, or if they get too distracted by other things, you know, critical moments, a volcano erupting for example, they will unfortunately be overwhelmed by the curse. Exhaustion 2 accumulates to fight the curse. Okay, that's interesting. There are some for which humanity is a choice. Their blood slowly chills and their thoughts wander to the darkest parts of the world, 100 fathoms beneath the waves, where the sun will never reach. Every day they must fight the urge to leave their human lives behind and begin something new. Yeah, it's great Texas, I do like this. Let's go there then. So we're there anyway. Let us check. Oh, redeemed sovereign. So the chosen one is trying to remove the shadow, which will help with the shadow. I don't think it's going to remove the curse, so we'll find out actually. Let me drive back shadow. Well, thank you very much. Let's see her family. Not the biggest family, that's a shame, but either way they're all going to have Call of the Abyss. Call of the Abyss, yeah, there they are, they've all got it. They've all got that curse. So, what I'll do then, let's play a bit more of the game real quick. We'll just get off there a second. Let's just see if this redeems the ruler's curse, the chosen one. I've only got 5 turns left. Let's just quickly see this. Oh, she's gone mad. Okay, well that's not great either, because I think that helps with our Call of the Abyss, but there we are, dismiss that. So, like it says here, redeems them of shadow, but I don't think... Dismiss, oh dear, right, okay, well, go away. Not interested in you either. Let us see. Still got Call of the Abyss, and of course she's still insane as well, which is not great. Right guys, what I'll do is I'll play a bit more and I'll come back one last time once the once we've got a Sanctum here, and B, once we've see what happens with this rule. Let's see if they do end up descending into the depths. I'll come back to it at either one of those things. Okay, so we're back with the deep ones, and we can see here that they've finally risen from the abyss. So I let the Mad Queen Katorf Rigsvilla manage to avoid being drawn into the seas. She hasn't fully turned into a deep one just yet. However, and nor have any of her family members either, from what I can see. However, the modifier, the Deep One cult modifier at the location has reached 300, and when it does, this popped up. So the Deep One cult at the city of Ront had grown to the point where it dominated all life in the community, with unaffected humans a rarity, holding onto the life which they once led. Tonight, that life was brought to an end as the cult shed what little was left of their humanity, their aquatic forms now revealed to the world. Gurgling and lurching, ungainly on land but with incredible strength and endurance, they drove their human neighbours from their homes, killing all who resisted. City of Ront is now a Deep One Sanctum, a sprawling cityscape seamlessly leading into and below the waves, as the Deep Ones adapt the settlement to their amphibious lifestyle, always seeking to expand their population by converting the nearby humans into their blasphemous, twisted biologies. Lovely, and love great artwork again. Love this. Okay, so all must return to the deeps. Oh, she's died. That's unfortunate for her. Never got a chance to become a Deep One. What a shame. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Absolutely love that art. That looks great. Deep One Sanctum art there. Oh, and there's the Abyssal City as well. I see. 100% infiltrate. That makes sense. Is there any quests or challenges? No quests. Oh, we can lay low there. Great. It's another place to lay low. Flee beneath. Oh, brilliant. So an agent can actually just hide there and lose menace. Fantastic. These are great additions to the game. I'm assuming there'll be other stuff we could do there at some point. You know, magic perhaps, or some other twisted things. But for now, that's a nice start, being able to lay low there. It's fully in shadow, that makes sense. It's got no air. Same with this location. I'm sure you're doing nothing now, I suspect. So, can we still, on propagation, attracts 20% of the population of all neighbouring infiltrated human settlements. Call them to join the Abyssal Cities in the Deep. Adds 10 menace to the Sanctum's temple, risking its destruction by human armies. Right, yeah, that makes sense. There's balance there. We can lay low again, we can fuel the fire. I'm not sure if we're supposed to be able to do that. Okay, let us then. Let's try this propagation. How's it going to take? 9 turns. We'll quickly just skip through these turns and see. Has this changed the... Does this look different now as well? The map itself. I'll have to flick back at the... flick back through and see if it looks any different there, but I'm not sure if that water was there before, that water feature, which would be a nice touch. So what we'll do is we'll do this, we'll check on the last but one turn, we'll check the population of these areas and see if it actually takes and how much it takes, and then what happens with this. If I also hover over this now, change. Oh, there you are, from population in Deep One Cities at the bottom there, 7.5. So our score has gone up significantly there. Let's just have a quick, let's just do this real quick then. We'll end a few turns. For those of you that don't know, page down ends the turn immediately. You don't have to click the button there, 4 turns remaining. Right, so we've got, okay, I'm not interested. Right, the population here is 93, the population here is 40. Population here is 40, so let's do this. That's done, dismiss that. What's the population now? 32, that's it, 20% gone. 87, what's the population of you? None, I'm assuming you just went to here. Can we see anywhere? How do I know? It doesn't say the population there, so I need to know. Does it say the population here? It does not, nor does it say the menace. I could do know what the menace is of this, so I know if it's going to be attacked or not, but again, these things will come in time. This is you know, still in an alpha build, as it were. It's not released, so we're still in the early stages, in the early access, but let us see. Ah, this is what I wanted to check, the Conquest Victory. Yeah, look, it's gone up. Population in Deep One Cities, I think, has increased, unless perhaps they haven't made it there yet. It's an army. Let's do another turn. .5, I think it was still the same. Unless I'm missing something, guys. But either way, for me, this is a fantastic change. One of the biggest changes of this patch is, it's not a small thing, adding an entire new minor race into the game. Something that functions, I was going to say like orcs, they don't function anything like orcs, to be honest, but they do have a similar role within the game. They give us another thing to play off, they give us another way to win, and they can still interfere with there's another abyssal city, look. Oh, they're spreading! Perhaps this is what we made. Perhaps this is what the population created. Interesting, maybe it makes abyssal cities all around the sea locations. I'll have to do some further testing with this, guys. But as I was saying, yeah, it gives us another way to influence the game, another way to influence heroes, to influence rulers, to manipulate them, and plus it gives us yet another way to win using this conquest victory. So the game is just becoming so much more complex with these additions. I believe that Bobby, Two Hands, the developer, is looking to add a couple more of these minor races into the game. I couldn't tell you which ones necessarily or in what order or anything daft like that, but I'm sure this isn't the last of them, and I believe some of them will be for the forces of good effectively. We won't just be converted humans and killing humans, there might also be some other good forces, elves, dwarves, perhaps, the typical fantasy tropes presumably, for us to try and enslave, kill, or in shadow as we see fit. But yeah, this is a great change, guys. Really like this. It has, although it's not going to affect every game, every playthrough, but I think it does add a ton of depth for those where you want it to affect. And if this is how the minor races are going to be in the future, then bring it on is what I say. It's absolutely fantastic. Anyway, there's a couple more things to cover, so I will quickly run through those extra little pieces, and and then we'll obviously close the video. So on to the next one. So another change that we have is for the supplicant for She Who Will Feast. So not only do we have new art for She Who Will Feast, but her supplicant also starts with traits now, not unlike the supplicant for Easta. So we've got 3 different traits here to choose from. We've got Conduit, the Dying Light, and Martyr for the Dark. These are quite interesting. So we've got Conduit's the first one. Whenever this agent completes an In Shadow challenge, gain 2 power. So our god there will get power as we're doing challenges relating to Shadow. Very thematic, can't exceed your maximum as you can see, but it's very thematic. Good way to keep the power of your god quite high, so you can spend it on those late game abilities and powers. We have the Dying Light, which obviously, as you can see there, when in a human settlement, increase Shadow by 1% per turn. I will probably be picking this one when I play She Who Will Feast. I do like abilities that just steadily tick up some negative for your enemies, I suppose, and having it with no menace gain whatsoever. So there's no downside to this. You pick this every turn, 1% extra shadow, just for being there. I think it's great. It's not a lot, 1% is fairly small in the grand scheme of things, but still, it will add up. And then the final one, Martyr for the Dark, this is quite interesting. When the supplicant is killed, if in a human settlement, all of the points of interest in that human settlement, so docks, library, the city palace, sewers, whatever points of interest are in that city, immediately become infiltrated. Very thematic, but I don't know how much people will use this because it's quite risky. A, you need the supplicant to die. B, you need all of the points of interest, or certainly at least one of the points of interest, not to be infiltrated. And C, it's great to infiltrate all those points of interest, but you've still got to do other challenges to make it more useful. So, good change. It's good to see these changes and have these traits. I'm hoping in the future we'll have like a whole skill tree for agents as we walk through the game, and rather than just be a case of choose a point to invest and gain, a point of might or a point of lore or what have you, we might have specific and unique traits for each agent. And this is a good starting point for them. We can see the sort of stuff you can look forward to here with these starting traits. Out of these, as I said, I think Dying Light is probably my favourite, then followed by Conduit, and then finally Martyr for the Dark, that I think is very situational but can be quite funky, I guess, if you just want to off your supplicant fairly fast. Anyway, on to the next one. Something that I wasn't going to mention actually in this video, I'd forgotten about it, but he's actually added ages to heroes and your agents, and Certainly heroes, I don't know about agents, but certain heroes and rulers can die of old age, as we can see here. So poor Baron Laros Kale has died of old age, just to give it a bit of, you know, narrative feel to the story. Not if he's living forever unless you do something about it. So if we go to him, let's see how old he was, bless him. Oh, he's gone. Of course, he's already died. Let's have a look at let's have a look at his son, see how old he is. I'm not sure we can see it here. Let's click on his family. Oh, we can't, we've got to wait until he becomes the ruler. Let's just skip a turn. Right, so dismiss that a second. So now he's the ruler. Look at his family, let's have a look. And Lane Kale, there we are, he's 20 years old. Okay, let's get off that. Let's see about our agents, see their age to give you an idea here. So, yeah, the supplicant is a member of House Heim and he's 59 years old. House Heim is not cursed, he doesn't have any family. But it's just an interesting little thing. It's quite, you're not going to get many deaths of old age in this game given what you're doing. Unfortunately, the members of the world tend to die of other more violent delights, as it were, but it is possible, and it's quite a nice narrative touch. As I say, it is a bit more narrative when characters are just, you know, getting old and dying. You know, you might have the chosen one. In fact, that's a good point. Let's see who the chosen one is and see how old they are. Oh dear, 90 years of age. Not particularly young, old mediator Les Pahananj. So we'll see, they might die of old age. Should be quite entertaining. Maybe the chosen one is exempt from that death, but no, it's an interesting thing that you can have these characters just die because, you know, they get a bit too old effectively. Anyway, I wasn't going to mention that one, but it just popped up there, so I thought I'd mention it, guys. Really quick again, I wasn't going to cover this either, guys, but we've just seen another change here that hasn't been mentioned to me by the developers, just sneaking these in, but there is also another new trait for your agents called Stealthy. So Stealthy allows your agents to lose 0.1 profile per point of intrigue every turn. So Supplicant here has got 4 intrigue, he will lose 0.4 profile every turn. So every 3 turns he'll lose 1 profile effectively. I quite like this. This gives agents a way just to lose profile every turn without needing to do anything. It's only a tiny bit, but it can stack up, and it actually fits in really well, I think, with the stat intrigue. You know, is supposed to, you'd think it would be stealthy. Characters like the courtier, the trickster, even hierophants to a degree, they tend to be your more human, should I say, agents. Their powers are more to do with intrigue and politicking and so on. And I think that's really fitting that they actually they have the ability rather to lose profile just by existing, I suppose. So I'm going to pick this for this character, but I thought that was a nice addition to the game. It's very welcome. It's good to have more varied ways to lose profile and menace. There's actually more places we can lay low now with characters as well, which is great, so you don't have to go to cities anymore, which is a huge bonus. But yeah, this is a nice trait. I like this. I wish there were a few more, but it's a very good start, I think, along with Infamous. So another new feature that the developer has added is to the Harvester. This character here looks a little bit like an evil Santa Claus, as you can see, quite a creepy fellow. Now the Harvester is a little bit underpowered. It's got some very niche uses, but not massively useful. Anyway, I'm going to showcase this new ability now, and it's quite interesting in that you actually need, it's a curse on a bloodline, so let's just quickly check this here, right? See how big her family is. Okay, it's massive. The Etamels are quite a large and powerful family, so this will be very useful. So if we just do this here, attack her, we'll lose, of course. So we've lost, and then you'll see now we'll be presented with... Okay, so he was infamous as well. So here we are, the hunt never ceases. I'm not going to read all this, so we'll just summarise this here, but effectively, the hero stands over the Harvester, but unfortunately the Harvester is a horrible, continuous, evil being that, although its body is dead, its soul is still going on, and it's going to continue hunting. Not only this hero, but also their entire family. So what will happen is that everybody within this family, so everybody within the Etamels, all the relations to Orc Slayer, Salon, Etamel are going to have their maximum sanity reduced to 4. And it's the curses there, as you can see, it's called the Howling. Now I'm guessing Bobby might add a number of, Bobby Two Hands, the developer, might add a number of other curses potentially that you could pick from maybe in the future with the Harvester, or maybe with other agents. But in particular, this particular curse, as it is right now, is absolutely fantastic. I can't overstate this enough for Iasta. In the playthroughs where you're trying to spread madness. Very, very powerful. So we'll select this here, the hunter becomes hunted, and then if we look at this poor hero, sanity is 19, right? If we skip a turn, that'll drop to 4, I believe. Let's just quickly check. There we are, 4 out of 4. What a drop. And all of her relations, Duchess here, sanity 4. I'm assuming around this area, let's have a look. Yep, Etamel 4. They've all decreased to 4, guys. That is absolutely brutal. So if you're doing a madness run, get a Harvester, throw them into the biggest, or your biggest problem, I suppose, family. Let them die, curse the family, make them all crazy, make them all insane, send them mad. I think that's going to be a pretty strong tactic. We'll have to see how it plays out. Maybe I'll give it a try when I finally start my next Let's Play with Iasta, the Laughing King, but we'll save that for then. Anyway, on to the next one. Another update to the existing agents is in the form of the Cursed, and we can see here that the Cursed has an event immediately pop up. This is it here. It pops up like this as soon as you create her, and it's called, as you can see, very inventively named Cursed. The Cursed, which you guessed it, is Cursed. And I'll read this real quick. So Cursed is driven out by her friends and family. She's banished but blameless. The sin is not hers, yet she was punished by humans and by the forces they worship as protectors. She may have borne the blame, but another was the guilty party rather. Twisted by a thirst for vengeance, the Cursed vows revenge on those who have wronged her. She could kill Duchess No Merrydale, but she would grow more powerful. Her curse now a terrible gift as she serves the dark powers. So you select this as sin not hers. We can view this person, Duchess No Merrydale. Let's have a look at her in the city of Crit. Okay, so I might be able to do something about this, but let's return to this. So you can see here, real quick, her stats are 2 for everything, 2 might, 2 law, 2 intrigue, 2 command. It is the worst of any agent, these stats. So you know, it's an even spread, but they're quite low. When you total them, obviously 8 is the lowest, like I said, of any agent. Now if we, and she's a unique as well, which makes it worse. Now I know she gets a paralysing glare ability, but I'm not sure it makes up for these stats, and to be honest I don't think the other players are either. She seems to be quite an unpopular choice at present. Anyway, if you complete this curse, she gets, in all of these stats, she goes to 3, 3, 3, 3, but she's actually better than the Supplicant in terms of total stats. She's still an all-rounder, you know, she can do pretty much anything, but once you've got 3 command, that lets you take 3 minions there, doing 3 damage. Suddenly she's got a bit of bite to her. 3 law is nothing to sniff at to start with, and 3 intrigue, okay, it's middling, but it's okay. So she becomes pretty decent, so let's accept this here. We'll choose obviously the one trait we can, Petrifying Gaze. Let's immediately move her real quick to the city of Crit. And then we'll do Brutal Assassination, 38 turns. Well, I'll skip this through for you guys so you can see it real quick. But I'm going to do this here just so we can see exactly what happens with this. So I'll start it now. Cursed has almost completed her Brutal Assassination challenge on Duchess No Merrydale. Let's just see what happens here, guys. We'll skip this turn now. Brutally assassinated, dismiss. There we are, Cursed. So as we can see, her stats now, might, everything has gone to 3. These aren't bad stats, guys. Now, it's difficult this because she's gained only 9 profile and 4 menace. That's absolutely nothing. That's actually not bad at all, guys. It might be worth doing this straight away. So she's killed the one who wronged her and grown more powerful as a result, finally able to accept her terrible new form. This trait now grants +1 to all the cursed stats. Yep, we know that. There we are. There she is, happy as Larry with, not sure what she's doing there. Looks like some wheat that she's just ruining, or maybe some flowers or something. But either way, she's not happy our Medusa, our very own Medusa there. So let's accept this as sin, punished, and as we can see, those stats have increased. Yes, it's probably going to get you some rivals. Oh wait, after her compatriot Duchess No Merilao was killed by her rival the Curse, Prince Po Merilao has grown to hate now. Yeah, I'll probably get you some vengeance and some vendettas, but with those stats I think it's acceptable. We can work through it. So happy days. Glad to see the Curse getting a bit of a buff. She needed it, to be honest, but quite pleased with this. So worth playing any games, guys. Don't sleep on the Curse anymore. She might actually, believe it or not, prove fairly useful in future playthroughs. Anyway, on to the next one. Okay, the final thing that I want to show in this new update, version 0.5, is a new spell, and it's on the right here. You can see it just there, called Forever Dying. So we're going to select this, but as you can read there, what it does is it curses, it's another curse, and it curses the family of the ruler here to suffer a curse of their bloodline, which means that heroes will occasionally lose health and rulers will occasionally be disrupted and force their settlement into a political gridlock, which is effectively a useless task for rulers to complete. It's just like a waste of time. So as you can see, they won't kill the victim, but it will reduce their effectiveness quite severely because they'll be effectively interrupted. If the heroes, they'll have to heal, of course, plus it might give you a good chance to snipe them actually with your agents. Obviously if they've dropped to 1 or 2 health because of the curse and they haven't had a chance to heal yet, you could always pop in, attack them, and you might actually win that battle because of this curse. It takes a fairly long time, but it also has a very minimal profile and menace gain fine of 5 profile and 10 menace there, so it's not too risky to do. So that's the last thing I wanted to cover in this update, guys. There are quite a few other changes to the game that have been added in this. Lots of different balance tweaks to the alliance so it forms a bit earlier, tweaks to the chosen one to make them more powerful, so they're a lot more of a threat to you and your plans. So the game is really moving in absolutely the right direction, not just the art, the underlying mechanics, but also, as you can see now, there are more and more advanced mechanics and elements getting thrown into the game all the time. Things like, you know, a minor race, a complete change to a major facet of the game has been thrown in on alpha release. So the game is definitely moving in the right direction. Have a look at it, check it out on Steam if you haven't already, or obviously you know, pick it up if you're interested, if it's something you like the look of. As always, I've been Simply Fun Gaming. If you like what you see, hit the like button. If you want to see more, subscribe, and hopefully I will see you again on the next video. Thank you very much for watching.